Welcome to the Scaleup Valley podcast, where we bring the best of the best to help you scale your business from 1 million to 1 trillion. Today's guest is David, the CEO at Billbee. David, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mike. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to our conversation. I really enjoy what I've been following and seeing on your LinkedIn, and also the story that you have shared, even with Alexander Tilma from SaaS Talk. That captured my attention in order to reach out to you and be in touch, because I think it will be a very original approach. But I will keep the suspense before sharing more about it. And let's start from the beginning. So who is David, and tell us more about Billbee as well.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mike. I'm David. I live pretty much in the center of Germany on the countryside. 31 years old, married, and 2 little boys. And I'm the CEO of Billbee, which is a B2B SaaS company. Yeah.
Awesome. And let us know more about what Billbee does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We are, I would say, some kind of middleware for any kind of e-commerce player, e-commerce company. So after a sale happens, being it on Shopify, another e-commerce store, or being it on a marketplace or something, we import all orders and kind of centralize and automate all following tasks. So creation of invoices, shipping labels, customer communication, but also keeping stock levels and inventory in sync across all channels and all this kind of stuff. And then on the other hand, we mostly forward those orders to like accounting systems, further warehouse management systems, external fulfillment service providers, and so on. Yeah.
Got it. In terms of of course, the business model is SaaS, as you said, B2B SaaS. In terms of ICP, any particular kind of ideal customer profile?
Typically, we focus on the smallest and small companies. So our sweet spot typically has below 10 employees. So one-man show until 10 employees. We have lots of customers who start their business as a side hustle. So still have a day-to-day job and then start the e-commerce business as a side hustle. And then finally, if it went well, they quit the day job, hire the first employees and these kind of companies. So we actually do not have a tight contact and a high touch with our customers, because we have around like 15,000 customers, and so we cannot have a direct connection with any of them, but really try to focus on the huge amount of customers instead of the big ones.
Got it. In terms of geographies, any insights there?
We're still primarily based in Germany. So this is where our main customers come from. So I think we have around 90% of the customers from the German-speaking region. So Germany, Austria, Switzerland. Then a few, maybe 5 to 8% in the rest of the EU, and then some weird customers coming from Asia or North America, and we don't know how they find us, but they did.
Well,
but that's a rare case.
In those cases, it's because all about the product, right? So if they do the effort to find you, it's because they are not happy with the solutions that they have closer to their homes. Yeah. And looking forward to a German player, especially now that everything is global, right? But definitely, that's a great sign. Cool. And tell us more about how did you engage with Billbee? I know that you have an interesting story. You have not been in the company from the beginning as a founder. I know that you feel as a founder of the company, but kind of the story of the company, you became much more the CEO. But let us know more about how it all happened.
Yeah, I started my professional career as a typical corporate player, I would say. So I worked for HP in Germany and also in Palo Alto. and I worked for Swiss-based IT service providers, typical sales and account management roles on the one hand, but on the other hand, I always had my own companies and side hustles running, even in school. I had some e-commerce businesses running, some SEO agency running, and affiliate websites and all this kind of stuff you do with 18 years old and 16 years old. And I think in around 2015 or 14, I founded another e-commerce business with two friends of mine as a side hustle. And we were looking for solutions, which are pretty much what Billbee is now. So we were looking for solutions to handle our orders, to handle our inventory. And then somehow I met Jan, the founder and now chief tech evangelist of Billbee, and get to know him, get to know the product, and really felt overwhelmed by the product itself and by the way that it's not really known in the e-commerce community. So there wasn't any traction for the product, even it was one of the best products I've seen in this whole space, among much larger products and much larger companies and with a lot more employees and marketing budget. And then I get to know Jan, and I think we talked to each other. Then we met in person one day, and I really thought, this might be a really big thing. But Jan always has been the tech guy, and there was no intention to create a business based on Billbee in the beginning. So it was at the beginning, it really was some kind of community project, a free community project, free to use, and very niche, so only for the DIY community. So we have a German Etsy clone back in these days called Davanda, and there was really niche product to create invoices for these DIY seller, I would say.
Right.
And then but I really saw there's huge potential in the product and how it was set up, the methodology of having a self-service product and the cloud-born, a cloud-native product, whereas all or most of other tools in this space are legacy tools. You had to host on your own. You had to create some kind of server client infrastructure on your own to get these, more or less e-commerce ERP systems up and running. And Billbee was really one of the first tools I saw, which was some kind of ERP light within the e-commerce space. But cloud-born and cloud-native. I more or less forced Jan to hire me on a freelance basis. and this is how we started back in 2016. I think the company was incorporated in 2015. We met at the end of 2015, and then I started on a freelance basis in 2016. And I think I quit my corporate job in August or so, 2016, and then joined Billbee full time. This was quite a tough decision, obviously, because I had to tell my friends, my family, to leave a good corporate job with a good salary, with a company-owned car, and all this kind of stuff and circumstances. And but in the end, it turned out good, but was quite a tough decision to convince my surroundings.
And after this 6 years or so, where are you in terms of growth with Billbee?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a good bet?
I think it was a good bet, definitely. Not only because of I would say circumstances, but also because of happiness and work happiness and life happiness. So it's not only about the numbers, but also the numbers are good, but it's not only the one thing. And in the beginning we had we were a really good couple, I would say. So Jan was the product and tech guy, and I was the money guy, the revenue guy, the growth guy. And this turned out really good. So we had a similar mindset, but different expertise, different skills, would say.
Exactly.
And I think we hired the first 2 employees in 2017. then, and then 2 more in 18, and really slow growth in the beginning, conservative growth in the beginning, all bootstrapped, so all based from our own revenues. The only grant I think we had was some kind of no payback government grant, who paid like 20% of our both salaries in the beginning, which was nice, obviously. Yeah. But that's it. And then we really were growing based on our own revenues and based on our own profits.
Right. And you were explaining that you have recruited the first employees in 2017, 2018, right? And now what is the head count of the company?
We are around, or I think we just signed the number 45. So 45 employees now, and round about little more than 40 FTE. Yeah. So most of the employees are full-time. Got it. Maybe I think two working students or so, and yeah, maybe one or two part-time.
It's incredible growth, and we are coming into the most exciting part of the show. And one of the reasons why I reached out to you is you have a very unique, let's say, culture and way of retaining and attracting a talent, and you have your own thoughts and values around that process. Can you share with us a little bit more about the strategy that you are implementing at Billbee?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, even from the very beginning on, one of our main goals, and which still is our main goal, is to only have happy employees, would say. Yeah, so to have the happiest employees on earth, if you want to say it. And we want to have a good job for ourselves, but also for our people. And this was actually one of the things Jan was founding Billbee in the beginning, because he didn't want to work in a job he didn't like or something like this. So he really wants to create an environment where he wants to like or wants to work. Yeah, and we were growing in the beginning on 2 different office sites. So one office where Jan was living and one office where I was living. So more or less equally until we were like 10 people or so, 10 employees. But then we figured out that because both were remote spots and no big cities around and all this kind of stuff, we figured out it could be difficult to grow as we want to grow. Yeah. And as we were seeing the growth in terms of revenue, we were seeing it's difficult to grow in the same way in terms of people. So I think it was right before Corona, maybe the end of 2019 or so, but we were around 10 people, and we were seeing, all right, in 2020, we are probably growing fast and probably need to hire more than we usually did. And then Corona came in, and we were forced to go to the home office, or at least we were allowed allowed our employees to go to the home office, and realized it's working well. And at the same time, we realized Corona doesn't have a negative impact on our business, but the opposite is the case. So e-commerce is obviously benefiting from Corona. So our planned growth for 2020 was probably even much higher than we were expecting it in the beginning. So we thought we somehow have to become an awesome employer to attract talent. And then we decided for probably 2 big changes in our company and in our culture, and gave them a trial period from July to December 2020. One is to be 100% remote company, so hire at least German-wide or Germany-wide, would say. Got it. And which is not really unique anymore now. But the other thing was to reduce our working hours, our week work hours, from 40 to 30. So cut it by 25% more or less. And just the main thing really was to become an outstanding employer and to have something unique, and make some kind of rumors in the hiring scene, I would say. And as I said, we gave ourselves some kind of trial period to the end of 2020, but then as applications and people were coming in so fast in this year, we've doubled the headcount in 2020, and there was already some kind of point of no return in October 2020, where we've hired like 6, 7, 8 people, not from one of our office sites, but somewhere in Germany. So there was no real way back to the offices. And I think then in October,
scary
November,
at the time, but
it was definitely it was scary at the time. But we also realized that this hybrid culture doesn't really work for ourselves. Yeah, because you always have this kind of 2-class employees. So the one employees who are in the office and the employees who are not. Yeah. And so we decided to go all in and canceled office sites and all this kind of stuff.
That's amazing. So 10 people in 2019, 20 in 2020, and now at 40, which means almost 40 at the end of 2021. So doubling headcounts every single year without external funding, bootstrapping. This is quite unique here in the show, but that's on purpose to really reflect and help the VC-backed community to think about other ways. And if we always need to raise funds in order to grow a company. And what I'm trying to do with this show is sharing your story so people can see that it is possible and to learn from what you are doing. And at the same time, it is possible to grow and it is possible to have a friendly environment and a great culture for people that are working. And I love your example about Yen, the will of working in the company, or not only providing for himself the experience that he would like to have in the companies that he has worked at, but also for the ones who are working with you. I think that makes a lot of difference, because sometimes the mindset is not a school is, okay, all those people that I've worked at have explored me, have not created the conditions for me to perform and to be happy. So now I'm doing the same, but I'm the boss. Or even the belief.
Might be the case, yeah.
It's not possible to grow a company without that, but I don't want to be in that kind of rat race. So I will hire people to do the rat race for me. In this case, no, I want to be in a different way, in a different culture, in a different environment. And I want the people that work with me to also benefit from that kind of environment. And we will make this work as a business as well. We will grow, we will create profit and value to our customers, and everyone will benefit. So I know that you have your kind of happy profits concept. Let us know more about that.
Yeah, I think there are always these 3 areas you already named. So profitability, growth, and happy environment, happy employees, and happy work, would say. And I think most people think you could only 2 of them at max. So right. And we actually try to do it differently and to make more out of it. So on the one hand, to invest in our people first, to make them happy, which in our case at least leads to a more profitable company because they are more motivated, more productive. We need to have maybe fewer employees where other companies would need more employees for the same things, less fluctuation. So less hiring efforts, less onboarding efforts, and all this kind of stuff. Less illnesses, because people have more time to relax, time to chill, time to go for other things, and then invest those money from being more profitable into our product and into our growth. So this is basically what we try to achieve, and which obviously worked for us. And maybe I don't think it works for any company, especially if you're in some kind of winner takes it all market, or maybe in some kind of network economy situation, where you want to create some kind of platform, marketplace, and all this kind of stuff. But I think especially if you're in the B2B SaaS space, where you have a product which makes or which creates a value for the first user already, who's paying for the first customer already. I think especially in this situation, it's really possible to do it. Yeah, because in the beginning, as Jan was a single founder, one-man show, he was reducing his other freelance projects. Yeah, as Billbee was growing, and he could do the support, he could do the development, he could do the marketing, which he didn't, but he could have done it. Yeah, right. And so you really could wear different hats in the beginning. So there's still a chance to get bootstrapped if you create a B2B SaaS company. And then if you create a product which creates value, people are willing to pay for it. And one thing we found out that we were always underpricing ourselves, underpricing our product. And I think this is a common mistake for any company, being it a bootstrap company, but also being it a VC-backed company. And
SaaS and non-SaaS.
yeah, right. And as we found out, people are happy with our customers are happy with the product, and are also willing to pay more, and telling us they're willing to pay more. Actually, we found out, all right, amazing. Why don't we use this situation, and change the pricing a little bit, take a little bit more money, invest it into the product, invest it into the people, hire more people, growing. So we really try to follow the path which was somehow provided by our customers, right?
Right.
So, and it turned out good, I think.
That's really great. These three ingredients that you're talking about: growth, happy employees, and profitability.
Yeah.
As you said, even just being able to combine growth and profitability would be. But at the same time,
maybe combining growth and profitability is harder than combining all of the three, right?
The three, right. Cool. That's a wise thought. I was not getting it, but now I arrived there, so understand why. But yes, especially also because with the right mindset in the VC backed kind of path, we will need to prove profitability in order to raise the upcoming round, or to use that round as a tool to keep growing quickly. But sometimes I think that we forget that, and because of the hype in the market, sometimes we are able to raise a new round without showing that profitability. What I'm talking about, that profitability, is that if we would stop growing or investing so aggressively because we want to grow fast, we would be a viable company, a profitable company. We are not a profitable company because we are investing more aggressively so we can grow faster.
Yeah.
So and this is an important point to never forget, that the unit economics should be working in order to be able to accelerate, especially I would say after Series A. Until then, it's a lot of proving that the model makes sense, and that customers are happy with that, and that we are serving the right kind of niche, and that we have a large market, that we are really solving that kind of the problem solution fit stage, in getting to product market fit stage, and then the go-to-market fit stage, etc., etc. But we should not forget also in the common shows about the VC-backed way, that growth and profitability are also something that we need to be able to prove, even if we don't choose the profitability in the short term, not because we couldn't, but because we want to grow faster.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Actually, there's this rule of 40 you probably know about. So I think it's the profit margin plus the revenue growth has to be 40. More than 40. Yeah. So even if one of both is, or at least if profit is negative, so if growth is high enough. And we also use this rule for ourselves, but had this little tweak that we still want both of it to be more than 10%, right? So plus 10%. But for example, I think in 2021 we had like 40% EBITDA or so. So it's a huge, and it's
incredible.
I think it's probably too high, actually. Yeah. So at least from a VC perspective or investment perspective, but also from a sales perspective, it's quite high. although we really tried to invest and hired a lot of people and invested into the product, but I think it's that obviously there probably is some kind of unhealthy profit, if it's too high, and this is something I understand and something I try to look at as well, and this is something maybe we could learn from VCs as well, to invest more than we actually allow ourselves to, right. Because we are very conservative, so we budget very, very conservative, and we always underestimated how much revenue we would make, so we were growing, I think, like 100% any year almost since the beginning.
Amazing. That's VC metrics, or what VC companies would love to achieve in order to be sexy to go into the next stage. So well done.
Right, definitely, But we were always underestimating this, so we're planning for less spend. I think this year is the first year where we are some kind of more realistic, more aggressive in terms of revenue growth, and we're budgeting more aggressive. I think so plans are to come out with a little less EBITDA.
Exactly. And I think it's a good point also, especially in your situation, that you have the luxury, because we have not decided to join the VC bucket path. And I agree that we are evolving our discussion to not compare both sides. Again, we can learn a lot from bootstrapping companies, and we can also learn a lot from a bootstrapping perspective from VC bucket companies. But you have the luxury that you don't need to prove that you are able to double or triple every single year, and this should not be a threat. This should be an advantage, right? For you. In that sense, you can almost create two scenarios: let's say the conservative, as you have been doing in the past years with great success, because you were always able to outgrow that projection, but at the same time have kind of the moonshot, what I like to call the roof shot scenario and the moonshot scenario, right? So it's kind of, okay, if we have here healthy metrics, and if we do this is really good, but let's aim for the moon. So in terms of aiming for the moon, what can we do as a team to get there? And at least you get always a certain control over the quality of growth of the company, because I think that's the other point. So how do we add into that free variable equation, growth, app employees, and profitability, the speed, right? And also, do we have the capacity to invest the capital or the profit that we have generated with quality? Because maybe we don't have yet a strategy to be able to reinvest so aggressively at this time, but maybe in 3 years or 4 years, there will be a huge opportunity with an adjacent market or a new niche within our business, where the opportunity will be super clear, and it would be very good to have cash on the bank so we can be aggressive on leveraging that opportunity, kind of applying more the Warren Buffett kind of mindset of and an investment mindset to the business world, which is let's wait for the moment that we have a very good opportunity, that we know that's the opportunity that we want to leverage to be more aggressive and balance, not just because we have generated 40% of EBITDA, let's not invest the 40%, let's invest the percentage of the profit that we think that we are able to create a consequence of that growth, that if we put €1, we will get €3 or dollars, depending on who is listening from. But it is great to have this conversation with you, because I think that those are the best shows where we brainstorm and we find new ideas, and we really have a conversation instead of just doing an interview.
Right.
So, and in terms of the 40, going from the 40-hour work week into the 30-hour work week, how does that work in practice for your people at Billbee?
So we simply said, just work 30 hours a week and spend them when and how you want it, more or less. So we said you have to work at least 4 days a week. So there should be a single employee who works 2 days, 15 hours or so. So we have to, we said you have to work at least 4 days a week. So 4 days or 5 days. Interestingly, most people work 5 days a week, which I personally think is the most productive way. If you only work like around about 6 hours a day, I think that's far more productive than working 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And so really
for the ones who are following 6 hours per work week day, we will have 6 times 5, 30 hours. Typically we have the 8 times 5.
Right.
So
So really, I really like that both people still work the 5 days. And then we obviously had to make some changes to our organization, to when and how we do meetings. So for example, we try to do all weekly and all regular meetings on Mondays. So Monday is a typical meeting day for regular team meetings, regular company meetings, town hall meetings, and all this kind of stuff. We also try to avoid meetings in the afternoon. So like 2 p.m. is usually some kind of unwritten rule, which is the latest time of a meeting a day. So there are some like circumstances we do, and that's it basically. So it's quite simple, to be honest, and but people can still adjust the timelines as they like. So there's no fixed time frame where they have to work. So some people work in the early mornings, some people work in the late evenings and late night. Right. So it's quite flexible, because we also have lots of parents, lots of families in a company. So they maybe work 3 hours in the morning, pick up kids from school, eat lunch with them, and then work 3 hours in the afternoon or so. It's quite flexible.
That's amazing.
Around these fixed meeting times, of course. Yeah.
That's really amazing, and quality of life, and the life is so short that it makes sense to work in a purpose that we love, and also to be able to spend time with our dear ones, and to do stuff outside of work that we love, and to do what we love at work as well, and have quality of life on the different dimensions of life. It seems almost a miracle, but again, it's possible. It's never perfect, but it's possible to get closer to that, right? So I think that,
and also actually also with the remote thing, most people obviously think the 30-hour thing is the crazier of those two, but in terms of working together, being remote has a much higher impact than working 30 instead of 40 hours, right?
Right.
Because in terms of tools, in terms of structure and processes, hiring, recruiting, onboarding people, being remote is much more difficult, much more challenging than only working 10 hours less a week, I think. And so if I could have all our 45 employees living next to my house, I would love to build some huge and fancy and nice office space for us, to work together, to have fun together, to have lunch together. But so as you said, it's not always perfect. That's how it is. So this is not an option, because we want to hire the best people around the world. Is not possible for us as well, but at least around Germany. And we have our first employee moved to Sevilla just on the 1st of April.
Congratulations.
So we have some mini location, mini site in Sevilla now. And but that's it.
So now Germany and Spain are open for new opportunities.
Exactly.
Awesome. We came to the moment of going through the funny segment of the show, where I ask a quick question and you give me a quick answer. So if you'd have the opportunity to have a coffee with yourself at the beginning of Billbee, when you joined Yen, what advice would you offer to your younger self?
I think it's basically long-term thinking. Because I was in the past, I was very, very short-term thinking in terms of everything, in terms of money, in terms of product, in terms of whatever, in terms of people, in terms of hiring, very long-term thinking. So I stumbled across these quotes. I think it's from Bill Gates or so, that most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And
exactly.
this is really what makes sense to me now, but didn't realize in the past.
Love it. What are you the most proud of on your journey so far?
Yeah, I think it's basically bootstrapping Billbee so far. Or maybe more specific, in fact, to pay the bills of almost 50 people, right? With self-earned money. And still giving them a job they love. So this is actually, I think, the thing.
It's amazing. The happy profits concept.
Yeah.
Worst advice ever received?
Oh, that's a hard one. Maybe it's just a simple and stupid thing. Back in my first job at HP, my first sales role, someone told me to remove my eyebrow piercing, which I was used to wear in my early 20s, for one of my senior colleagues. So it was a typical, blue collar sales job at HP. And maybe actually it was one of my best advices as well, because this made me think in the first time of leaving the corporate world and going into the startup world.
You have just translated the negative into the positive.
Maybe, wow. But at that time, I feel this is really a stupid advice. But never know.
Favorite book?
It's actually Scaling Up by Vern Harnish.
Awesome.
So really. Not sucking up on you. It's really the case, and actually knew the book before I knew the podcast from yourself. So like it very much.
That's awesome. We shared that one definitely. So favorite movie or series?
I'm not really into fiction, but maybe I think I like Why Him with James Franco, if you know it.
No.
If not, it's I recommend it. It's a funny movie, but a little bit start-up-y as well. So Why Him?
Why Him?
Why Him? At least that's the German title. Why Him?
Yeah.
With James Franco. Yeah.
James Franco. Okay, got it. I'm always learning so much from these resources at the end of the show.
And I think it's primarily playing in Silicon Valley, so Palo Alto area, though.
Oh, that's amazing. So you got me triggered to look into that. So favorite podcast excluding this one?
That's definitely the top from Nathan. I like it very much.
Got it. Okay. Always surprised and writing down the resources. David, thanks so much for joining us today. It was really a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
And as you see, it is possible to combine growth, happy employees, profitability, and we even discuss speed and time of investment. And instead of doing it bootstrapped versus VC backed, I really enjoy the way that we move the conversation into, which is how can we learn from each other and how can we support as a community and as a better society, the growth of all companies. So people that work at our companies can also benefit from them. So we keep bringing you inspiring stories and also helpful advice to help you scale your business. See you soon and keep scaling.